often determined in traits like hair color, personality,
and even eye color.
My jeans are blue.
Doja Cat parodying Sydney Sweeney's latest endorsement deal.
It's crazy.
If you said that you want to buy the jeans, I'm not going to stop you.
Obviously inspired by those classic Brooke Shields ads.
You want to know what comes between me and my Calvins? Nothing. As far as the criticism, I just think it's just like any other criticism. You know, you'll get people will say that they like the commercials or what you're doing, and then other people say that they don't. But...
Now, that was a controversial campaign back in the 80s, mostly because Brooke was only 15 at the time. So this time, it has more to do with the messaging.
Sydney Sweeney has very keen.
You see what I did there, right?
The whole jeans wordplay being called a nod to eugenics by some critics. Despite similar jokes being used in other ads by other brands in the past.
I got Tommy jeans. What else? He's not my dad, but I got Tommy jeans.
I think that it's just figuring it out day by day. I'm still learning.
Meanwhile, others like Doja are just there to poke fun at Sydney's line delivery.
Genes are passed down from parents to offspring.
Often determined in traits like hair color, personality, and even eye color. My jeans are blue.
Interesting. So I'm a play this next video from Piers Morgan, and yeah, they finna get into it. So yeah, we gonna spend a little time on this one though. We gonna spend a little time. So let's go ahead and get to it, dog.
My jeans are blue.
Sydney Sweeney has very keen.
I was frankly angered. The ad.
I'm skipping here. I want to get into it.
Shaming them instead. You are an embarrassment, Sydney Sweeney.
It's not just excitable people on social media who are losing their minds on this one. Even Good Morning America is wondering whether Sydney's great genes may herald the onset of a new Fourth Reich.
We begin with the backlash over a new ad campaign featuring actress Sydney Sweeney.
Yeah, the ads are for American Eagle, and the tagline is, Sydney Sweeney has great genes. Now, in one ad, the blonde-haired, blue-eyed actress talks about genes as in DNA being passed down from her parents.
The play on words is being compared to Nazi propaganda with racial undertones.
So is Sydney Sweeney the new poster girl for white supremacy, or is it all, as one commentator put it, just ugly girl jealousy? Well, turning to my panel now, I'm away from my usual studio, working on a slight delay. So I begin with a polite request for everyone to allow the audience to enjoy all of your insights. I'm joined by Jedediah Bila, the host of the Jedediah Show, by the conservative influencer Deborah Lee, academic and host of Bet News, Mark Hill, and the author of Cultural Intelligence for Marketers, Dr. Anastasia Gabriel. Well, welcome to all of you. Okay, let me start with you, Dr. Anastasia. What's your problem with this ad? I mean, I just saw Sydney Sweeney looking hot, selling jeans. What memo didn't I get?
I would love to live in a world where more people would have the privilege to look at this ad and simply see an ad for great jeans, but that's not the world that we live in. And we live in the world that is marked with a lot of cultural baggage. So when I saw this ad as a marketer, somebody who works with agencies and brands on issues of culture and cultural relevance, I was frankly angered. And the reason for that is that the ad is racist and eugenics coded. And I have to be clear that when I say that, I don't mean to talk about the intent of the creators behind this ad, but rather the impact that it has on audiences, and particularly on younger audiences. And here we need to remember that the target audience of American Eagle is the most racially and ethnically diverse consumer group in the history of the United States. And somebody who has spent a lot of time studying semiotics and the way that meaning is encoded in various forms of media and cultural artifacts, it becomes very clear to me that when we take apart this particular ad campaign, it marries certain concepts and certain words that carry cultural baggage for people. And if that wasn't enough, we can go back and look to the source material for this particular campaign, which is a Calvin Klein ad from 1980 that uses very explicitly the same kind of rhetoric of, and even more so rather, dramatically natural selection, survival of the fittest, selective mating, the superiority of.
Let me ask a question. Let me ask a question real quick. If it was a black woman, or if it was a Hispanic woman, if it was an Asian woman, if it was a Pakistani, an Iranian, or whatever other race outside of a white woman, and they did the exact same commercial, they did the exact same way, nothing changes but the skin color and the person. That's it. Nothing else changes. Would there be an issue? Would there be an issue? Would there be a problem? Because it only seems to be a problem every time, and this is why a lot of people, this is why a lot of white people are getting tired. They're getting tired, bro, and they starting to just say fuck whatever y'all talking about. So mind you, nigga, I wore American Eagle jeans when I was in college, bro. I threw them hoes on. You feel me? I was rocking them bitches. Shirts and all. I was rocking the fuck out of them because that was just the style then. I was rocking them. If you had American Eagle jeans on, nigga, you was doing something. And I'm from the South. And I gotta keep throwing that in there just because I know there are different styles in different areas. But at one point, nigga, American Eagle jeans was the it jeans, bro. Wasn't nobody rocking no Levi's. They was like, hey, bro, I'm throwing these American Eagle jeans on. Shit, what's popping with it? With some J's on or some Forces, and I got the American Eagle shirt on to go with it. You feel me? We out here. You feel me? Why are we making such a big deal out of this?
Dominant groups, etc. And from a perspective of media and cultural studies, when we look at this particular campaign, we can see how meaning travels from the source of inspiration to this particular narrative structure that we see in this ad. And so it is no surprise to me that it was picked up by audiences that reacted in the way that they did. And research shows, even though obviously Gen Z are in themselves a diverse group, they're also generally on average more progressive leaning and of course chronically online.
Crazy. You mean crazy?
Anastasia,
I mean,
Anastasia, we haven't had you on our censor before. I didn't really understand a word of what you've just said. Are you this much fun at parties, or do you have a different persona?
I would love
there?
it if you weren't disrespectful to me. It's a pleasure to join you today, and I look forward to exchanging opinions. I would love to clarify any points that you might have found confusing.
Anastasia, you would have to
Deborah Lee. Let me bring Deborah Lee in. This is a terrible example of racist white supremacy, etc. I sort of lost my thread halfway through it, but this is apparently the worst ad ever seen. I mean, this is the Nazis reborn.
That is just crazy to me. And for people to have this reaction to this ad, when I first saw this ad, this is giving a Super Bowl, okay? This is shot very well. This is very creative for an ad agency. I don't know where that information is coming from, that they're the most diverse group and their clientele is the most diverse in the entire world, the entire country. But if that were the case, then this would be a great ad to appeal to a new base. Heterosexual straight men who see a hot woman and they think, wow, that's great. I want to support this company. And for the record, Sydney Sweeney is a brunette. She has brown hair. So everybody's saying she's an Aryan, blonde hair, blue eyes. It's not true. Look at her roots. Look at her eyebrows. It takes 5 seconds to do a Google search of Sydney Sweeney's natural hair color. And while I have my own opinions about this ad, I don't really have the palate for sexual ads as a traditional conservative. I think even if you have an issue with this and you're saying that this is a Nazi dog whistle, as a Jewish woman, when the Nazis created ads in their propaganda, it was not using hot women who are traditionally hot to try and attract people to become Nazis. It was saying that the Jews are vermin, that we're trying to take over the world. To try and compare the two is outrageous because the left will call everything Nazism and say everybody's a Nazi, except for the actual Nazis chanting from the river to the sea, Palestine shall be free, reiterating the same talking points that we've seen since World War II. So I just really don't understand where any of this information or reaction is coming from. People have way too much time on their hands. Get a job, get a life. Stop being triggered by thin, white, hot women. Just let it be. Enjoy. You guys had Lizzo in an ad when she was 400 pounds modeling for Calvin Klein jeans. She's since lost weight because she even realized that being that size is not healthy for any individual.
I beg your
It's
pardon.
clearly just targeted towards happy, straight, white women. They don't want to have these people in ads. We've had every single TV show, every single advertisement has somebody who's been put in simply for being gay in the last couple of years. That's the only reason that they've been put into the storyline. And so now we just have what we would deem normal, and the left is trying to brand this as abnormal. It's not taking, and the people that are trying to push this is the reason that the Democratic Party is continuing to fail in popularity.
Damn.
One thing that I have in common with Harry and Meghan is that we all value.
Hey, she just cooked. God damn. I ain't gonna hold you. She just cooked. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. That's what they want to see. This is the shit that they want to see. Just like that statue that they put in New York. That big ass statue. You got a woman who built like this, standing with her hands on her hips. Nobody's attracted to her. Just there. Because it represents. Oh, so you want to be represented as big and obese. That's what you want to be. Instead of trying to become the best version of yourself. That's what you want. You want to be represented. Then you got this joint. Then you got this joint right here. And like old girl said, if you look at the roots right here, look at this joint right here. You can tell she ain't a blonde. You can tell she's not a blonde. Nowhere near it. Nowhere near it. She's a brunette. She's a bruni. He said, "Don't nobody want no flat spot couch pillow booty." Hold on. Oh, hold on. What you talking about? You talking about here? You talking about here? Because if you had to choose, nigga, I'm choosing right, not left. I'm choosing right, not left, and no, it ain't got shit to do with race. It's pure attraction. Pure attraction. Choosing right, not left. But that's the American way. Hey, listen, I'm picking right. Pick right before I pick left. At least you ain't got to worry about health issues for the most part. Left got the lazy buns, facts.
Which was in the middle of the whole Me Too campaign and stuff. Do you have any problem with the lady on the left there?
Do I have a problem with her? No, I don't have a problem with her.
Yeah.
I don't have a problem
You're
with
not offended by that image?
I'm not.
Fascinating.
No.
You do have a problem with the woman on the right?
No, hold on. Two things. One, you specifically said let's not interrupt each other, and I haven't been able to articulate one sentence yet, and I've been interrupted twice. So let's follow your own rules.
No,
I'm not offended by the woman on the left. Let me complete the sentence. I am not offended by the woman on the left, nor am I offended by the woman on the right. The aha that you're going for isn't there because I'm saying I am not offended by either woman. But I am, please, I'm asking respectfully, allow me to finish a thought. Two people have spoken uninterrupted for 3 minutes. I haven't gotten 10 seconds out. What I'm saying is that the problem is not either woman. The problem is how we're narrating the commercial. That's what people are concerned about. Several things have been said that I'd like to respond to in direct response to what you're asking me, Piers. The first thing, and I'm glad the last woman who spoke mentioned that she's Jewish because I think that's really important. Historically, there have been lots of anti-Semitic images, narratives, tropes that are used that non-Jews don't see. And many times someone will say, oh, wait a minute, they showed that person playing into the cabal narrative. They showed this person as a rodent, or they showed this person with changing their name to this or that. And the average person may not intend to be anti-Semitic, although some people are anti-Semitic, but it's still there and Jews recognize it. So I don't want to presume that because a white person doesn't see it, that means that it can't be racist, or if a black person doesn't see it. You know what I'm saying? We have to think about this on all levels from multiple audiences. You used the word normal and talked about it in the context of this white woman. White women are normal, but so are other people. The problem is, historically, we have only normalized white people. And so we've made white women's bodies, white male bodies, the norm. And we've made everything else less human, less beautiful, less real. And so when we say good genes are the ones that—
What a load of crap. Honestly, I'm sorry, Mark. If I may jump in on my own show, What a load of crap. I saw Beyonce do a jeans ad. Everybody drooled over it. I loved it. Thought she looked hot, but she did. Right? I mean, what are you talking about, man?
Just for reference, let me pull it up. For those of y'all who don't know, Google, let's go to Google. Let's go right here. Beyonce jean set. This that joint that they talking about right here. This that joint that they talking about right here. This that joint that they talking about. That set that she had on. Whole jean set. Whole jean set. Mind you, she got blonde. She got a whole blonde situation going on over here. We know she ain't no blonde. What was the uproar in that? You didn't see white people in the uproar about it. You didn't see black women in the uproar about it. You didn't see leftists in the uproar about it. You didn't see it. You didn't see it. But all of a sudden, you get a white woman, and mind you, Beyonce look good in the jean set. She slim stomach, fit, look great in the set. Looking great in the set. And you mean to tell me that Miss, let me do the same thing. Give me a second. Let me just give me a quick second. Give me a second. Nope, let's do this one right here. You mean to tell me that she don't look good in that jean set either? So we gonna lie today? We lying, so we gonna lie today? That's what we doing? What you mean? What you mean they ain't cut to fit bodies? Yes, they are. They're fit. Those jeans, those type of clothes are fit for fit bodies, slim, slender bodies. That's what they're fit for. If somebody can't fit them, oh well, that's their problem. They got several different other stores they can go to. They don't. That's the thing. We got to understand that there's a plethora of different stores other people can go to where they can find something that fits them. They don't have to go to goddamn American Eagle to buy jeans. They got Levi's jeans. Let me see what you say. Raw. The clothes are not cut to fit bodies, curves with male or female. That's right. She landed Levi's with her country album. Yeah, she landed Levi's, but she looked great in the jean set though. But nobody said anything about her being in the Levi's jean set. What's the difference between her being in Levi's jean set versus being in American Eagle? What's the difference? Just like they said, just recently they just had a gay person doing an ad for American Eagle. So what's the issue here? Are we just finding reasons to complain about something? They are definitely cut to fit curves. Grab worm is in the curve. And being built like a Michelin mascot is not curves. That's fact. That's a fact. And that's one thing that's one thing that we also have to recognize as well. We gotta start calling shit a spade a spade. Curves fat does not mean curves. You're fat. Whoever you are, regardless, if you don't like what I said, I'm sorry. You gotta call it spade a spade. Fat is fat. Curvy is curvy. Not a big bodied woman. Curvy is curvy. Let's look at the difference. Let me give y'all something. And I can't show that. Nope. They in a bikini. Let's look at this right here. I'm gonna point this one out. That's not curvy. That's not curvy. That right there, that ain't curvy at all. All right? But let me show you what is curvy though. Let's do this. Because we gotta make sure that they damn. Nah, let's do this. I got it. Now see this? This is curvy. Let me show y'all real quick. Let me show y'all something. Just give me a second. That's curvy. You understand me? That's the difference. Look at the midsection. Flat. Curvy. Got a little meat down there. That's the difference between the two. That's the difference between the two. Let me give you another example. Curvy. That's curvy. That's see, flat. Curvy. That's the difference. That's a difference. There's a huge difference between the two. You understand me? That's a huge difference. Huge. Yes, exactly. That's what we used to consider thick. That's what thick was. This ain't it. This ain't curvy. This ain't thick. That's fat. That's obesity. That is obesity. Look at this right here. Look at this. Look at that right there. Look at that. Look at this right here. Look at this right here. Look at that. Look at this. Look at this right here. Look at that. Ain't nothing curvy about that. You know what I'm saying? Who wouldn't fit into? I guarantee she'll fit into. Not her. Heck no. The one I just went to. I guarantee she will. I guarantee she will fit into some American Eagle jeans. They make jeans. Listen, y'all need to go back. Y'all need to go back into American Eagle. They made jeans for people like that. They got different kind of jeans. They ain't just one type of jeans, bro. They make different kind of jeans. You just gotta get the right kind of jeans. Gotta make different kind of jeans.
Man, this is. Let me ask you a straight question. Let me ask you a straight question. Does Sydney Sweeney have bad genes? Yes or no?
No, I don't think she has bad genes.
Does she have good genes?
So that's the point.
Does she have good genes?
No. Again, you're trying for these gotchas.
No, they did. No, they did back then too, Snow. Like I just said earlier, I wore them. I wore the jeans. I had the jeans on. I was rocking them hoes, the shirts and everything. They had XL. They made XL shirts. They had XL shirts. They made large shirts. They made shirts all. I don't remember if they had 2Xs, but I'm for sure they had XLs. And at that time, I wasn't even wearing XLs. I was wearing larges. I was wearing large shirts. And they jeans went up to, and as far as men go, their jeans went up to, I think, 40s. The waist size went up to 40s. And at that time, I was wearing a 34. So they went from, I think, a size 28, all the jeans, the pants, they went from a 28 all the way up to, I think, a 38 or 40. So they made the jeans big enough. You just had to find the right fit. You had to find the right ones that fit you because they made different kind of jeans. They had the ones that was tapered. They had the ones that had the loose cut. They had the boot cut jeans. They had different kinds. They had them because I used to be in there. I used to buy them. I used to have them. And so I know they were in there. If you just, of course, if you come in there, you 300 pounds, yeah, they ain't got nothing for you. Or if you come in there and you got this huge belly, as a man or a woman, you come in there and you thinking about you finna find you a 2X or a 3X, yeah, you gonna be SOL. Or you think you finna find a 44, 46, or 48, yeah, you SOL. They're basically saying these type of clothing are for fit people or people who are slimmer, people who are not morbidly obese. There's nothing wrong with that. So if you want to, so if somebody, man, woman, black, white, orange, green, if they want to fit into those type of jeans, if they want to fit into those type of clothes, well, they need to get into shape. They need to fit it. They need to get slim. They need to get slim. It is what it is. I don't see nothing wrong with it.
Doesn't have good or bad genes.
The whole point is to argue that good and bad genes itself is a bad idea. It's a racist
Why can't
idea.
you have good genes, Mark?
Why is it racist?
If
Why
you
can't you have good
to
genes?
You feel me?
I'm
You
going
feel
to
me?
respond,
You feel me?
and I'm going to hope that you don't interrupt me as I answer. Okay? Because again, no one else has been interrupted except the people who disagree with you. What I'm saying is,
Stop being so precious,
the
please.
word you listen. The word eugenics literally means good genes. It literally means that etymologically. The point here is to judge human beings based on their genes, and to decide that you have good genes and you have bad genes isn't in and of itself a racist project. That's the point. So no, it's not that I think that I have good genes and you can't say anyone else has good genes. I'm saying let's get rid of the good genes narrative, particularly when it's based on hair and eyes and body type. Why? Because those things are racially coded. In other words, if I say that straight hair is good genes or blonde hair is good genes, and no, I'm not after watching an ad Googling someone to figure out their natural roots, you'd be shocked.
So good genes is a cumulative of many different things. Your size, your height, your ability to keep fat off of you, because you know some people have a faster metabolism, some people have a slower metabolism, some people are a lot healthier, some people are born with health defects or conditions where they may have thyroid conditions or high blood pressure, whatever the case may be. They may not be able to, they may grow or have been born with not such an athletic build, or they are built like a slouch. Just like earlier during the Anton Daniel show, they were talking about how there are some men that are curvy. You feel me? So then you got some women who are naturally curvy, just like some of the women that I just showed in the Google. Some of those women you can look at and say, yeah, she's naturally like that. Like, she's naturally built like that. So there are some people who can eat whatever the fuck they want and they'll never gain a pound. And then there are some people who will eat one cookie and they gain 5 pounds. Genes are genes. Yes, it don't matter. It ain't got shit to do with your race. But then on top of that, if you have good genes in regards to you're able to stay slimmer and you're able to stay fit, but also on top of that, you have a nice structured face. You are an universally attractive individual. Yeah, you may have nice hair. I'm sorry to say, but sometimes some people's hair look better than others. You got some niggas who got some white ass, thin ass hair. You got white people who got really thin ass hair, and then you got some white people who got really full volumed ass hair, just like some black people. They got some really nappy ass fucking hair. And then you got some black people who got some nice, beautiful fucking hair. Regardless of how you look at it, it's just good genes. It's just good genes, no matter how you spin it. Let's use this prime example. You mean to tell me that the chick right here in the pink don't have better looking genes than Shorty in the black? Let's look at the two. Look at her facial structure. Nice chiseled face. Nice looking face. And you mean to tell me that her genes don't look better than this pale joker here? Remind you, I'm not saying that somebody's attractive or not attractive. Just look at the genes. You mean to tell me that her genes aren't better than this one's? This shit is wild. It's wild to me. Then you got niggas like Mark Lamont that come on this goddamn platform. I don't get it.
To know how many people don't do that. If I'm doing these things and I see your eye color and your hair as a sign of your good genes, then that means someone who has a different hair or eye color doesn't have good genes. And the last thing I'll say is, if you look historically at ads,
good genes also comes with athletic ability too. There are some people who just are naturally fucking gifted. You got people who can jump out the fucking gym. They can run fast. They're naturally fucking strong. It's just in their genes. Then you got some people who are weak as shit, who can't even do 10 fucking push-ups. If you bet your life on it, they couldn't do 10 push-ups. You got some men who never worked out in their life, but you look at their body, you like, bro, How long you been working on? Nigga, I ain't never touched a weight in my life. But they look like they just fucking been lifted all of their fucking life. That's just good genes, bro. And that comes with all races. That don't just come with the specific race. It comes with different races, dog. What should have American Eagle done? Should they have put a whole bunch of different races of women on there and said, oh, well, you know, I just got good genes. All these women, black, white, orange, green, yellow, purple, they should have put all these women on the platform and just said, you know what? We're all considered good genes. Then what? Then there would have been another uproar. Well, why aren't you representing the women who are a little bit on the thicker side? Why aren't you representing the women who are a little bit curvier? Y'all always find some shit to complain about. You always find some shit to complain about. Always. It's always going to be something. What was the character from the Addams Family? Which one? Who? Morticia? I think so.
It doesn't though, does it? Calm down. Calm down. It doesn't actually mean that.
No.
Hang on. No, I will speak on my own show. So just calm down.
I'm asking you not to be condescending.
Stop being so precious. My instruction about shouting was between the four of you, not me. It's my show. I do what I like.
Yes, I don't care if
and
it's
my
your show
point is this.
If you interrupt me in the first minute, it's bad form. I'm saying that if you let the guest who agreed with you talk for 3 minutes, then don't allow me to talk for more than 1 second. You literally didn't let me finish the first sentence.
You have literally done more talking than all three other guests put together, multiple
that is not
by
true.
2 or 3. So
that's not true, but my issue with you interrupting was not at this point. It was at the first 10 seconds. My point was just to interrupt me in the first 10 seconds. So
Can you calm down?
Is irrelevant. I'm fine. I'm not angry. I'm not angry. I'm talking over you.
Right.
Can I jump in here,
I have
Pierce?
blue eyes. Right. I also have good genes, particularly on my mother's side, because my skin is surprisingly good for a person of my age, because my mother's side all had good skin. You got a problem with that? Mom?
Is that for me?
You got a problem with that? Yes. If I say I've got good genes from my mother because I have good skin and I've got blue eyes, so what?
So what color eyes are what color eyes are bad genes? If someone has bad genes, what would their hair or skin look like?
I don't think any are bad. I didn't see anybody from American Eagle saying that anybody else.
No one said anything.
No one from just to be clear. Hang on. Nobody from American Eagle was making any comparison. Nobody said somebody else's eye color or skin color was wrong or bad or anything negative. All they said in an amusing pun is that Sydney Sweeney has good genes and is wearing great jeans. That's it. There was no negative about anybody else.
And here's why I disagree with that. Because if I were to stand on here and say, oh, she's from a good background, she's Gentile, then we would all say, well, wait a minute. I didn't compare to anybody else. No, by saying that Gentile is the good background, I would be implicitly saying that the others are not. If I say I have a good body, I'm skinny, then I'm saying the other bodies are not good. It's an implicit comparison, but it's not out of context. Historically, in this country and in the West, we've always said that white bodies are more beautiful. So it's not like we're coming out of nowhere here. This is out of Zeus's head. We're starting from a place where we've already presumed white superiority.
Mark, we have spent the last 10 years.
All right, Jedediah.
The last 10 years, if you look at all of the marketing campaigns, we have done how many segments on television about the elevation of obesity? You see people who are massive that now we're saying it's a good thing, right? It's great. Let's celebrate everyone who's unhealthy and obese. If this ad was an African-American, if this ad was a Hispanic girl, no one would be saying a peep. Frankly, I think if this ad was a white girl like me with brown hair, brown eyes, I got a little Spanish in me, I got a little Italian in me, I'm Sicilian, I got some African in me, I don't think anyone would be saying anything either. This is utterly ridiculous. The only people who are offended by this ad are people who choose to be offended by everything. Either you choose to see racism in everything, or you choose to see sexism or misogyny. I noticed that a whole lot of women online were mad about this ad because they were jealous. It was so obvious. Now they're saying that this woman is against the body positivity campaign because she's skinny. So let's just say the truth. Sydney Sweeney is a sex symbol. She is a young, hot woman. She is objectively attractive. That is all this ad was about. Now, why has the stock skyrocketed for this company? The reason this ad has done so well is, yes, because it creates controversy and we all talk about it and we debate, and American Eagle is very smart and they knew that, but also because there is a growing segment of the population just like me that is saying that is so tired of walking on eggshells to cater to people like Mark's sensitivities. Frankly, I don't care if you're offended. You can put it.
Because here's another thing too. Here's another thing too that the leftists are also talking about. So Sabrina Carpenter as well. Y'all know who Sabrina Carpenter is? Let me inform you on who Sabrina Carpenter is, right? So Sabrina Carpenter, let's see, album cover, right? Boom. Where's it at? Where's it at? Yeah, here it is. Yeah. This the one. This the one. So there are a lot of women in the uproar about this cover. Sabrina Carpenter's. They're in an uproar about this. A lot of women, a lot of leftist women are in an uproar about this because there's a man that she's on her knees for this man and he's grabbing her hair. A lot of these women saying, well, why can't it be her, the one that's standing up and he's on his knees? Because what Sabrina Carpenter is doing, say, yeah, I am a servant to my man. That's what she's representing. I'm a servant to my man. I'm bringing back the traditional ways of life. I want to be a servant to my man. No, that nobody said slave. Nobody said anything about that, but I want to be a servant to my man. Because a lot of these women, they want these type of men who have all these luxurious things. They want these men with six figures. They want these men to be top tier men. So therefore, guess what? You're gonna have to operate. You're gonna have to move as such. They're gonna want you on all fours. If you want these type of men, guess what you're gonna have to do? You're gonna have to serve them. And nobody says serve him like a slave, but you're gonna have to serve him. You're gonna have to fall in line. And they was in an uproar about that shit. And another white woman, another attractive white woman, everybody's in the uproar about it. Because she decided to bring this sexiness back. She's like, well, shit, well, I'm gonna take it back to the traditional way of things. Because they getting tired of this whole feminist bullshit. Because guess what? Feminism ain't helping women at all. It's hurting y'all. It's hurting y'all in every which way. You think it's doing something good for you, but it ain't doing shit for you. So women like Sydney Sweeney, chicks like Sabrina Carpenter are saying, fuck what y'all talking about. We out here. We out here, you hear me?
Who cares? Here's the bottom line. Stop getting so offended. If you see everything through the lens of race, that's your problem. That's not Sydney Sweeney's problem. That's not American Eagle's problem. If you see everything through the lens of misogyny, it's the same conversation over and over again.
Yeah, hang on, don't all talk at once. Don't all talk at once. No, I'm going to come to Anastasia. Anastasia, here's the problem. The Democrats have just polled at record lows. Right, they are. I
will say this about Piers Morgan though: if you're gonna put them two up and let her cook like that, you do gotta let Mark Lamont respond. Let him respond his way. Don't just cut him off and then start talking to go to somebody else. No, let him say his piece, and then you can move on to the next person. So he got to get better at that.
Incredibly unpopular, and I can tell you one of the reasons why. It's things like this. The reason Donald Trump got reelected is partly the economy. Partly immigration.
No, he got to, bro.
Also partly the culture.
Regardless if we agree or disagree, bro, you got to let him get his shit off. Because I mean, I feel you, but he got to get his shit off at the end of the day, bro. It's a whole debate. He can't just jump in. Because I mean, in this case, I do agree with Mark Lamont in regards to shit. Mark Lamont ain't even start talking, and immediately Piers Morgan already started to interrupt. Like, hey, bro, chill the fuck out. Regardless if he agree or disagree, he still got to let him get his shit off, though.
Wars, which the liberal left, the woke left, tried so dementedly to fuel and fire for so many years, behaving like a bunch of insane fascists. And it comes down to stuff like this, where most people watch this ad and see it for what it is, a harmless ad with a hot actress selling jeans. But in the prism of the woke left, which I assume you would identify as, but correct me if I'm wrong, You look at it and see it as an obvious example of Nazism, eugenics, white supremacy, and you hate it and despise it, and anyone who likes it must be cancelled. And that's the problem with the woke left. That's why nobody wants to vote for anyone who identifies with the woke left. That's why Trump won. And no one on the left, in the woke left, seems to understand that it's exactly this kind of thing that is the reason that nobody wants to vote for you. Over to you.
Yeah, I hear where you're coming from, and I think that kind of strong narratives between, woke left, kind of hijacking everything, is part of a narrative of labeling people and not allowing nuance and context of what is actually happening here. So I'm not really interested in being inflammatory around the subject. Neither do I think that this particular campaign is a propaganda campaign for eugenics. But I am interested in thinking about the power of media and representation in our culture and what it means for somebody who engages with this ad who doesn't look like me. And as a marketer, I know that actually it is American Eagle's problem that is a reaction of their customer base, which is
the bigger issue is this, because I'm not crazy. I'm not crazy. I've seen women, black women, Hispanic women, Asian women who are built like chicks like Sydney Sweeney. So they aren't just white, they're out here. There are many different races of people that wear American Eagle jeans. Who gives a fuck who's on the ad? She's hot right now. Just like any other thing in the world. You're gonna put the hottest person on the scene on your ad to run the numbers up. And at this point, people aren't caring. People are getting tired of being censored, bro. We went through 4 years through all the we went through 4 years of Biden to being censored about everything. People can't say what the fuck they want to say. Everybody has to be quiet. You got to be politically correct about everything. You can't call a motherfucker fat when they are actually fat because they get offended by it. You can't say certain things because you can't call a man who's actually a man but who's dressed like a woman. You can't call him a man because they gonna get offended because you call him a man because they feel as if they're a woman when they really a fucking man. And vice versa. You're trying to put the tape over people's mouths because they want to talk the way they want to talk, and because they want to say they have a difference of opinion than you. And you want to be so fucking inclusive to everybody. No, fuck that. Fuck that. Nope. If you can't fit the jeans, keep it pushing. If you can't, if you too fucking big to fit into American Eagle jeans, oh well, go to another store. That's your problem. Fix it. Go eat a salad. Go work out. Go run some miles. Go work out and come back in a few months to see if you can fit into some jeans. Other than that, you making an uproar about nothing. You have the autonomy. You have the free will to just not go into the fucking store and go somewhere else. You don't even have to pay this. To be 100% honest with you, this ad shouldn't even be talked about. There shouldn't even be any controversy about it. Because you have the freedom to do whatever the fuck you want to do. You have the freedom to go buy whatever pair of jeans that you want to buy. There's so many different clothing brands out here that you can pick from whichever one you want, and it don't have to be American Eagle. But all of a sudden, you see an objectively attractive white woman talking about she got good genes, and all of a sudden, just because she just so happened to have blonde streaks in her head, and she ain't no fucking blonde, she's a brunette, and we just saw that, we just proved that. And she's mildly attractive. She's slender. She's small. She's not obese. She ain't even that curvy. She ain't even curvy at all. She got her little breasts propped up like this and shit. And she's looking a little attractive, being a little seductive in the situation. Y'all feeling some type of way because y'all don't look that way. And you mad. Get over it. Get over yourself. You narcissistic motherfucker.
Younger people, and particularly younger girls. And as a marketer, I know it's a responsibility of the brand to understand their audience, to understand their worldview, the way that they form their associations, and connect with them, speak to them in a way that resonates. So it's absolutely...
Well, let me respond to that. Today's show is brought to you by Oxford Natural.
I'm gonna stop it right there, bro, because this shit doesn't make any sense to me. It doesn't make any sense to me